Hello everyone, it's Lisa Jane here. I'm wishing you all a very happy Monday. Today is the 10th of February and yesterday it was full moon in Leo. I think my hairstyle pretty much matches a wild Leo today because it's very windy in Cape Town. I haven't managed to get a video out for 2 weeks, so I apologize for that. But please check out my Instagram, which I'm being much more active on, as well as my Facebook page, and I'll put the links below. And if you like what I have to say, please subscribe. It kind of helps build my channel. It also helps me understand whether what I'm putting out there is what people need to see. So hit the subscribe now, quickly. And I am aiming to post more regular content, so let's see how we go, maybe once a week. But really engage with me. I love engaging with people. I love talking with people. It's how I learn. It's how we all learn, right? Is building that community. So if you feel like you need to be part of the community that I'm trying to spearhead or I'm just kind of initiating, then by all means, join and share it with friends. What is it that I wanted to speak to you about today? So I've posted a number of YouTube videos. I've been running this channel for a while, albeit sometimes intermittently. But when I was going through my statistics on the weekend, I happened to notice that one of my videos, entitled Crying for No Reason and the opening of the heart chakra, has really had a lot of viewers. I have continued to see clients who talk of opening of the heart chakra, and actually what I really advise is if you haven't seen that video, then please just stop. Hopefully I'll put a link either below on this video to the first one. So this is really the part 2 of that, so please watch that one first, because this one is a follow-on from the first one. I want to talk about something that came at the very end of that video. So first of all, just a quick backtrack. What are we experiencing? What are a lot of people experiencing during this time of awakening from around 2011 through to now? There's a continual series and wave of people who are finding themselves looking for something spiritual, feeling that they're experiencing things that might not have necessarily been part of their normal regular life up until that stage. And there's just such a lot of information out there now. You know, there's channelings, there's things from the Pleiadians, the starseeds, there's the light workers, there's people talking about Kundalini, there's people talking about spirituality, and then you've got all the books by Eckhart Tolle and, you know, Lynn McTaggart, and I could go on and on. And where do you start, right? Because there were books written like The New Earth and others that kind of led to an understanding of what awakening is about, but not one book fits all sizes. Sometimes I recommend a Buddhist book to people. Sometimes it's an esoteric book. Sometimes it's a deeply scientific book. What I will do underneath this video is maybe just put a couple of book titles, and I'll give their kind of their subject matter, so you can decide whether you want to do something a little bit more esoteric or a little bit more practical, or to look for a book that really helps you live in a more peaceful, contented way. So that aside, there are a lot of people, and have been for the last few years, talking about crying, talking about being very emotional, that they're in a shop and they speak to someone, they start crying, that they could be talking about some random subject and they start crying, that they can see something or hear something on the radio and start crying. This is a time where the awakening of our spirituality, our connection to source, and really learning that we are spiritual beings first and foremost, so not just mind and body, but spirit too, is that we are all connected, and that at certain times, people wake up to the fact that they can feel more than they felt before. As an empath, you might already have felt something, and you might be aware of that sensitivity, but perhaps you weren't necessarily labeled an empath. Perhaps you saw yourself as quite normal and regular and not spiritual at all, and then something happens that could be quite small that leads you to a place of crying all the time. I'm seeing, interestingly, that there are more clients in their 60s and 70s who are coming to me and saying, I don't know what's going on with my life, but I'm crying all the time. Now, that is a clear sign that there's something happening energetically with your heart center. The heart center chakra is a very powerful place when it comes to calling your soul and to connecting your spirit self into your physical body. If you want to learn more about chakras, I'll also put a link to that book below. But for me, it's a lot more than just the chakras. The chakras are kind of anchor points for our light body or our soul. But there's so much in terms of the multidimensional nature of who we are that I firstly don't claim to be a guru. What I've learned is through my own readings, my own trainings, and also my experience with clients. But a sure sign that you are bringing more of your spirit into your physical being is the crying. So please go and watch the first one of mine, because what I said at the end of that video is that heart chakra opening is really leading you down. So the soul comes in from the top of the head, right? And for the past 2 or 3 years, we have been going through a process of, well, what I've called embodiment. If you search the internet, you'll probably find a whole lot of stuff on it. And that for me was very clear when I visited Zanzibar a couple of years ago and came into contact with this most magnificent baobab, more than 1,000 years old. I literally cried when I saw it and just wanted to climb that tree, and I spent pretty much a lot of the time up there. But what I felt very clearly is that as a human race, we're going through a period where our souls are actually beginning to land. Now, you might well think, well, how have I been living without my soul being present? Well, it's quite possible. Of course, you're connected to your physical body, but the soul itself has a very different vibration. The soul really demands truth and authenticity and walking your path. And that isn't always easy, and that takes time. So the soul also knows when it can come down into your physical body. It's nothing you can force. Of course, you can do energy healing work, like the work I offer, or any other work to clear your energy field, to clear your chakras, so that really you're opening the way for that soul frequency, for that spiritual self of yours to descend in. So once you have at some level said, actually, you know what, I'm here, guys, I want to wake up, and you find that you're in a place where you're crying all the time, please do not despair. This place is a movement, because if we talk of the soul coming down, it's going to move down through your physical body as it can, dependent on what blockages, what stuckness, what traumas, what emotional baggage we hold. And again, emotions aren't always baggage. Please don't think that I'm saying that emotions are bad. But in that video, I talk of the fact that the soul moves through the heart chakra by opening, expanding, by making you more sensitive, by making you more aware. And then it moves its way down into the solar plexus. And there's something that my guides offered me called the seed of potential. Now, if you know anything about the solar plexus, it is our place of self-esteem, it's our place of self-worth. It's often where people can come and connect in, right? Especially if they are condescending or critical, or if we feel vulnerable in front of them, or we suffer doubt. That solar plexus region is going to be open to invasion. And that's probably one of the biggest areas we need to clear as the soul moves through the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral, and then down to the root. Because ultimately we want to move all the way through our energetic center and our physical body so that we can deeply anchor in the earth. Because then we're really working from our most divine potential. So the seed of potential I talk about is actually the spark. It's going to ignite in you the opportunity to look at all of those things that actually diminish self. Where you are not compassionate towards yourself, where you hold a low self-esteem, where you are self-judgmental, where you are critical. And it is very important to start working intensely with that area to enable the seed of potential by moving other people's energy out the way. This soul landing, the spirit landing, is not going to move past the blockages. It can kind of trickle down, but it does things properly. So it might be sitting just above your head. You might be feeling a lot of neck and shoulder tension and start becoming aware of those issues from the past, at the back or in the front, the throat that you can't speak. Know that your light, your frequency is moving down your physical vessel in order to highlight those things that need to be moved out of the way so your soul can land a bit further. So the seed of potential is really about your expression in this world. So the first step is really moving past, well, obviously once we've got through the other ones, is really moving past this heart center. And you know when you're there because you're crying, because you're emotional. It's an opening. There's a rawness. And I think it was Mark Nemo, actually, in the movie The Power of the Heart, that said that the heart energy is really a bit like a match. And in order to grow and expand, it needs to be struck. And of course, that's the old cliche about, suffering makes you stronger and all those kind of things. Not always, it's difficult. But the heart really is an energy center that needs to be rubbed against in order to open. And so it might be very quick. It might not be traumatic at all. But understand that the more you let those emotions flow through you, the more you're allowing your soul to land and really move into the solar plexus, touching that seed of potential and allowing it to grow. And that seed of potential is your self-worth, is your place in the world. So if you're looking for soul purpose, if you're looking to understand what it is you need to do, have patience. It will come to you. It doesn't happen overnight. It may, but in most cases it doesn't. So as that energy moves down, it starts triggering your seed of potential. And that will start pulsing, and that will start firing in any number of ways. It might be, you need to do this. You need to drop that self-judgment. This feels uncomfortable to me. Why do I feel uncomfortable in my stomach? Who's coming into my energy field? Any number of things. But if you can be self-aware and spend the time in solitude to really get in touch with those whisperings, because let's face it, those whisperings come when we give ourselves time. They can come while you're doing mundane things, and if a thought drops in your head while you're washing the dishes or doing something else, I always say take note of it. Take note of it, because that's really a random thought from higher wisdom dropping in and telling you to do things. Because invariably when we're doing something mundane like that, then we're actually open. We're actually more open than when we're stressing or trying to contact spirit. So just let it through. Keep a notebook with you to take notes. Start keeping a dream journal. Start keeping an emotional journal, so that what you're really doing is learning more about yourself beyond what you've been told, which takes many, many years to get rid of. Teachers, parents, siblings, all with love and respect, of course. They think they're doing the best for you, and sometimes they are. But really moving all that out the way, becoming more aware of who you are, what your thoughts are doing, what your beliefs are, who you connect with. Who are your guides? And a lot of people even ask me, who are your guides, Lisa? Well, a number, but I don't necessarily need to see them or label them or give a name. It might just be my soul through which everything comes. So yes, there is contact, there is conversation, but don't get too stuck on the detail. The one thing you need to do with any self-work is just set the intention that it's for your healing and highest good. And in that way, you can't go wrong. Because then your brain is not saying, I want this, or I want that, or that's the way it's supposed to look. This is what my spiritual path is going to look like. Because it doesn't always look like that. And a lot of people that might have some frequency that kind of makes them feel as if they could do healing or teaching could still remain in the job they're in. And I can hear you saying, no, God, I want to leave the job. That's also good. But know that every interaction with someone can be a healing interaction. If you hold a high vibration and you start listening to yourself more and acting from that place. Because let's face it, we're just vibration and frequency. This physical thing here is a beautiful thing, of course, and I'm working on mine. And honor that physical vessel by all means, but also know that it is your field that holds your vibration. It's your field that is anchored in your physical body through the energy centers and through your electrical field or your nervous system. The breath is very important when doing this work. Doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to do yogic breathing, but just a place in solitude, a place in silence where you have a notebook or something with you, where you slow down your breathing rate. Yes, a lot of us forget to breathe. Slow down your breathing rate to an even inhalation and exhalation and just say hello. Hello. Because as much as there are beautiful resources out there and YouTube channels, and yes, I'm trying to share in a very practical way, I can advise you, I can guide you, but ultimately the work is for you to do. And it's exciting work to really allow that opening of the heart, because that's what I'm talking about today, even though I'm going off on a whole different tangent. There's a lot I want to say, so maybe I'll post something later this week. But allowing the heart center to open. Don't be afraid of the crying. Don't be afraid of the emotions. Welcome them in. What's that beautiful poem by Rumi? This Human Guest House. Yes, you can Google that. It's a beautiful poem. And allow that soul light, that higher wisdom to move through your body and connect deeply into your seed of potential in your solar plexus, so that it can start budding, it can start growing, and it can really start assisting you on your path forward. So how are we doing? 15 minutes. I think it's time to wrap up. I do wish you a beautiful Monday and a beautiful rest of week. And please, please, please subscribe, share, tell your friends. Let's all support one another in this journey, because we are all growing, myself included. We are all working on ourselves in various levels. But if you have indeed the very inherent and deepest desire to heal yourself, to hold a vibration that offers healing and love, kindness, respect to others, then the work will be done. You will move forward. Just be patient. Divine timing is there. Don't let your mind run circles in terms of when it's supposed to happen or what it's supposed to look like. And just go gentle with yourself. With that, I am going to say goodbye, and I will try and post again in a week, if not before. Much love to you, and please have a look at all the links below, because I'll put book titles and my Instagram, Facebook, etc. And we will chat again soon. Ciao, ciao.